welcome back to the collections room. I'm Lena, and today we're going to be exploring form with an Eastern Hercules beetle. Eastern Hercules beetles this one's about 1.5 inches. It's got a really pretty olive green color with little black specks on it. They're part of the family that holds the largest beetles in the world. And this is not the largest that I'm showing you, but it is a really cool one we've got in the collection that's from the same family. Those mandibles. They are also part of the order Colenoptera. So Colenoptera is an order of 350,000 species worldwide. And this particular member of that order, our little Hercules beetle, it ranges here in the U.S. on the East Coast up to New York in the north, Texas in the west, and Florida in the south. The particular one that you're going to be drawing, this is a girl, and I know that because she doesn't have horns. The ones with horns, like this guy right here, are the males. Let's see those cute little horns. Those horns, the size depends on how well fed it was when it was a larva. Now, when they're larvae, these particular beetles are part of what Miss Frizzle would call the rot squad. So they're eating all sorts of things like dead and decaying trees, they're eating leaves, rotten fruit, all those things that are kind of starting to break down into the soil. Once they reach adulthood, like this guy, they're going to eat fruit and sap off of trees. Now, all of those insects that I just showed you, all three of them are part of the entomology section of our collection, of our natural science collection. And there are different reasons that we have collections. One of them is for showing in exhibits, like you see every time you visit the museum. But we also store them for scientific purposes. So there are different ways that we preserve our entomology collection for science. And the first, as you saw already, is on a pin. So you see that we have a pin that kind of drives right through near the center. It's got some labels on the bottom that we'll talk about in just a minute. For smaller ones, we might use a pin, but put it on a point, which is a tiny little cardboard piece. I was having a little trouble focusing on that, but you get the idea. The insect is actually glued on to that tiny little point, and then the paper is pinned. You might also, for really tiny ones, put them in a vial or a little capsule. And then if they're going to be used for hands-on purposes, we'll use what's called a Riker mount, which is like a little box with a see-through top so that you can see what's going on inside, but they're not getting damaged by handling. All of these are going to have information that's attached to it. And like I said, you can see those tags right there on the bottom of the pin of the one that you're going to be drawing today. Those labels have things like where we found it, who found it, when they found it, how they captured the insect, all sorts of information on it. And then you'll also have additional pieces of paper, little labels on there for things like changes in name, so if the species is reassigned to a different order or family or genus, that will go on a new label. We'll also have ones that have the ID number on them so that we can track where it's used around the museum, where it's being stored, even track what papers that it's been used in. And all of this information that's on those little tags, as well as the insect itself, serve as a time capsule. So we have a snapshot in time of a specific place, a specific time that scientists can use to answer a lot of really cool questions. So if you take a bunch of these insects all together, you can answer questions like, how is the species doing? Is it, are there more of them than there used to be? Are there less of them? We can look at how the ecosystems are doing. So are the ecosystems degrading, or are they looking pretty healthy? We can even answer more global questions, all with our tiny little time capsules. Now, as you are drawing your Eastern Hercules beetle today, I want you to think about those beetles and about where they live and the roles that they play in the ecosystem. And I also want you to spend some time imagining what our world would be like without all 350,000 species of beetles. Well, I hope you enjoy exploring form with our Hercules beetle. And if you want to learn more, we're going to be sharing out some links that you can use to explore a little further about Hercules beetles as well as about entomology collections and insects more generally. Those will be going out with the recording of this particular webinar. I'll see you next time.